85,
90.
90, 95.
We're playing for keeps. We're on the market. Stay strong, sir. Sold! Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 19th of August. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Gary, good to see across the country all state capitals have clicked up a notch with the clearance rates. Victoria, Melbourne, 71%. Gary Peer and Associates, 71%. Not often we're average.
Well, you know, it's okay every now and then just to sink back to the pack of other agents to see what it feels like for one weekend, Phil. But it was pretty good. We had some competitive auctions and look, the volume's a problem, Phil. Volume's been down. It's been a very sad situation for real estate agents. We're passing the hat around, Phil, because we're not an industry that gets a lot of sympathy, are we, really?
Do you know, I think firstly, real estate agents live well beyond their means.
Oh,
If everybody pulled back just a little bit and got out of their pretentious cars and drove a normal car, and I'll tell you where I'm going on this, Gary. I had a bit of a shock last weekend.
Is that right?
Had a bit of a shock because you know, viewers, you may well know that I drive a big, pretentious Range Rover.
Yes.
And it's big and it puts all of my stuff in, so I do need a big car.
Oh, that's the reason why. Yeah.
Well,
that's the only big car you can get is a Range Rover, apparently.
Well,
yeah, that's it.
So I'm embarrassed to say what it cost.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed to say that I had to pay for half of it.
So
more embarrassed.
I went out looking for a car with Ben last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And we went down to the Nepean Highway where all of the dealers are.
Is that Ben Eisner, Rothschild or Kingston?
Ben Kingston.
Okay.
We went down looking at cars and we went to Kia.
Yeah.
Now, Kia is a Korean brand, been around for a very long time and a very, very well-known brand.
Tell me you haven't bought one yet.
Well, I haven't bought one
Good,
yet.
because I've got the dealer for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to buy it from Bayside because Bayside Kia is
it's
where
one
it's
of
all
our-
at.
is one of
of our
our
clients.
wonderful clients.
And I went to the opening of Bayside Kia, Philip.
Well, he didn't send me an invitation,
No.
but anyway,
okay.
so I go down there. There's a whole lot of stories in this. One of them being the salespeople down there were hilarious, hilariously good, but good in a hilarious manner.
We love that.
So I would say if you're looking for a car dealer with personality, go there.
Does it match the brand? Is it like the Virgin? Remember Virgin? When they started, they were fun.
Yep,
remember?
Yep. Fun and beautiful.
Yeah, fun and beautiful. Is Kia sort of that brand now? That's who they are. They're fun and up.
Well, the salespeople were not the typical salespeople, but I really loved them.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But there's a car there. I can't remember what the brand, what it's called, but it looks like it's been modelled on a Range Rover.
Yes.
Slightly smaller.
Yep.
So I went over and had a look at it. I opened the door, and inside, it actually kills my Range Rover. Kills it. It looked unbelievable.
Made in China?
No, it's made in Korea.
Made in Korea, okay.
Absolutely inside was fantastic. And I said, oh, okay, how much is this? And they said, as you see it, fully loaded, no extras, $80,000.
Fantastic.
Right?
Yeah.
But he says, because he saw me pull up in that big, pretentious Range Rover, he said, but knowing that you're a man of certain taste, he says, there's a new one of this coming out, which is even bigger and better and fully loaded and it's extraordinary. I said, oh yeah, how much is that? He says, $100,000. Now, viewers, I'm not trivialising $80,000, I'm not trivialising $100,000, but when I look at the cost of my Range Rover versus this fully loaded Kia, I think I must be the biggest idiot, and it goes to my saying about most real estate agents, including myself and including you, live above their means.
Well, that's why we always, we end up at sort of sunny days, retirement home, just down the road somewhere, up in the hills somewhere, and basically that's how we live out our days, most real estate agents.
Most real estate agents on retirement day, you see their car driving back to a car lot, right? Yeah. And they get into whatever the smallest Kia is and drive to the retirement village.
Right, if they're lucky enough to have a car to drive to. Anyway, look, we talked last week about trusting the process.
Trust the process.
And I'm going to say...
TTP.
I'm saying this week's not TTP. This week is TTA. It is trust the agent, Phil, because there was an article in the
That's
paper.
That's a big leap.
Well,
Gary.
no, it is a big
that's
leap.
A big leap.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to pull you up here. TTP, trust the process. Here's our process. You can look at it in black and white, right? That is a formalised document that is easy to define. Are you asking people to go from TTP, trust the process, to trust the agent? What? Just, hey, sign here, you can trust me. Is that where you're going?
Second copy is yours. Look, you're on a rant, and when you go on a rant, it's the times I just look at the camera, just look down on the ground and just wait for you to get it out of your system. But look, it is hunting season for agents at the moment. We're being attacked for quoting too low to buyers, too high to sellers. I think that people give us too much credit in terms of actually knowing. It's like we've got this little secret that we're not sharing with anybody. We don't always know what the prices will be. That's why we go to auction. Not the only reason we go to auction, because we trust the process, right, of auction. But there was I thought it was a bit of a nasty article. I sent it to you. I don't know if you had a chance to read it. I know you get many things, and a lot of things I send to you, you just sort of don't really bother with. Although you did listen to me, and I told you to watch the Billy Joel documentary.
The Billy Joel documentary, 2-part series. It is incredible.
Thank you. So
it's
finally,
incredible.
I've told you for 50 years, take my advice, you'll be better for it.
Yeah.
But it only took you 50 years.
Some of your
occasionally,
advice. Anyway, going back to TTA, trust the agent.
So they just said that the buying the listing is the cheapest way of getting a listing, and that's the most effective way of getting a listing. And I kind of challenge that, because I think at the end of the day, when you tell a vendor too high a price, Philip,
makes your job more difficult.
Well, it makes your job more difficult, but there's something else that was left out. It's called reputation. And I think agents that actually want to stay in business, they want to build a reputation. And Phil, if you're actually misleading people or you're being dishonest, and my father actually said to me, Gary, don't be a real estate agent, because if you're honest and you're a real estate agent, he felt and thought I was an honest person. He didn't think I would be very successful, Phil.
Here's the thing, just to pick up on all of that you just went through, and I think there is a point there somewhere.
Yeah.
So TTP and TTA.
Trust the agent.
Yeah. So
you have to trust the agent.
I'm going to give you an example, Gary. We had an auction on the weekend in Bundeera Road. You're going to check to see whether the price is undisclosed.
It is undisclosed, Phil. It was a very popular property, went over its range.
We put the property on the market towards the top end of the range, so it was declared on the market, and it then went on to sell for almost 10% more.
It did.
Now, the one thing I'm going to say to viewers is that when you've got a hot property that is contested strongly and it sells for 10% over the range, I don't think that's a hanging offence.
No.
Because A, it was put on the market, in the range, towards the top end of the range. So there's good faith on behalf of the sellers.
And the agent.
And the agent. And if something sells for 10% more, like whenever a friend says to me, I'm going to an auction to buy a house, what should I pay? I always say to them this: how long are you going to be in the house? And they go, I'm going to be there for 10 or 15 years. I say, well, look, work out what you think it's worth.
What you can afford.
What you can afford, what you think it's worth, and be prepared to pay at least 10% more. Because in our area, no two houses are exactly the same. If you're going to live there for a long period of time, it's probably going to double in value anyway. So don't be scared to pay 10% more. So I think, when a property sells for 35% over the top end of the range.
That is very unusual.
That's not only is highly unusual, but you would then look at the range and
say,
go,
did the agent get it right?
Correct,
really?
correct. But
and they might have thought they did.
In a market where clearly we're now into a changing market, because buyers are there. You can see their ears are pricking up
a little bit.
They're out there more. The
bigger
numbers are up at the open for
Saw
inspection.
that.
So I think you are going to see some more outlier results, because when the markets change, and this is viewers, you've got to understand this, buyer psychology is amazing. When they're feeling negative, the market turns down really quickly,
sharply,
and when they're feeling positive, like you get this flurry of activity where you kind of go back to the sales meeting on a Monday and you go, wow,
how did
what
that
just happened?
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
And also viewers, be kind. Real estate agents are sometimes
gentle souls.
We are lovely people. We've got feelings.
Yeah.
We've got feelings. Not many feelings, but we do have feelings.
Some feelings. One feeling sometimes.
An agent had a feeling once.
Yes. It was,
somewhere.
Yeah, we just got to find them. Anyway, no, that is true, Phil. But I think that all of this talk about real estate, you do not maintain a reputation and you do not maintain longevity in the business. Young people want to have a go. They want to prove themselves, so they're building reputation. Old guys that have been around for a long time, depend and rely on their reputation. People, they're not interested in ruining it. So at the end of the day, maybe you need to just think about, if you're going to employ somebody to sell your house, and I'm not saying it should be us, of course it should be us, but make sure you think about the reputation, and make sure you think about the evidence they're providing, Phil, not the speak, because the speak doesn't help you. The evidence and the facts, that's what you should be looking at.
I think all of this publicity does one thing for the industry. It does. The good people are going to look at the systems and processes, and they're going to say, how do we do things better?
Yeah, but I don't know what it's all for. It must be a quiet news day, because
Gary,
really we're in a market where there's not that much going on.
It's enough of your ranting and raving. Can we get on with what's cooking in real estate? Take me through a few results. My Sunday, I had a quiet weekend, but that's the...
You asked me to take you through them,
the calm before...
You're taking yourself through them. Don't you love that? He says, so take me through some results, and then he just goes through them himself.
So my first auction on Sunday, we passed in a property in Glen Ira Road on the corner of Edinburgh Avenue, number 1A Edinburgh Avenue. Yes. We passed that in and negotiated with the highest bidder, and that bidder is now the buyer, and there's a sold sticker up on the board. So
and actually the buyer and seller were almost related. There was always interwoven relationships.
Shout out to everybody involved in that transaction. We talked about Bundeera, Alder Street. That was a humdinger of an auction.
Well, isn't it interesting, and this is just evidence of how little we sometimes know, Phil, because, Alder Street, at the start of the week, we thought, gee, this is going to be a really hot auction. There was a lot of interest, and then the interest dropped off. We really didn't have a volume of buyers that we expected and genuinely thought were going to come to bid. People kept a low profile, didn't tell us. Lo and behold, Philip, it was massively competitive with 3 bidders. You were in the middle, circling around and having a great time, going from room to room.
It was a fun auction there, Gary.
It was fun.
Always fun.
You brought the party to town.
It's always fun when you're there.
Yes.
Right, because viewers, one thing that you don't know about the two of us, or you probably do, we love what we do, that part you know.
Thankfully.
We are fully enmeshed, we understand each other totally, that part you know. But what you might not know is sometimes my jokes when Gary's at an auction are very personalised jokes, where goes over the heads of everybody in the crowd but lands with Jerry Boy here.
Yes,
so just understand, if you think I'm saying something at an auction where Gary is and you're not quite sure what it meant, it was probably delivered just for him.
This is how bad and corny it is. We get to a figure, it's like...
No, we're not going to give the joke away, Gary.
Okay, well, fair enough.
But at the end of the day, just understand, if you...
Oh, it's not a bad joke, it's not a distasteful joke.
We're not going to go there. You just understand that sometimes the joke, or the seemingly lack of a joke, was just for you.
Thanks,
Happy
Phil.
birthday.
Don't think I don't appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much. You're in early or late, but I appreciate both. Phil, there's some things that we didn't sell, and I want to talk about some of those. Because there's this great house
in
Fitzgibbon Crescent. What a great house. And the sale at Alder Street even validated it further. This is a fabulous house, Philip. It's for sale in the high twos now, 2795. Get you a freestanding, substantial, big family home in one of the best streets in Caulfield North. Phil, this is a buy.
I agree.
This is a buy. So
that won't last long.
Get down to 36 Fitzgibbon, which is not yet sold. And by the way, just because it hasn't sold doesn't mean it's not a great house. And how many houses can take a bit longer to sell?
Sure.
But then you look back and go, gee, that was a great buy.
That one is.
Yeah,
hurry.
I was involved with just a lovely apartment in William Street, Murrumbina. Well done to Rishi Tracker, who sold that one for 605. Phil, it's disclosed. Takapuna Street was my very, very popular auction, Philip. It was competitive with 3 bidders, one at 16 Takapuna. Sold for $1,000 over the range, Phil, at 1250.
Well done. Well done, Gary.
Yeah,
what a great job.
Yeah, no, you could count on me. Anyway, it was a very lovely property, Phil, and had been with the same people since it was built in 1987. Don't you love that? Terrible for business.
Yeah.
People just staying for so long, but don't you love that?
Do you know what? Those people need to have a good hard long look at themselves, because if that translated to the whole industry, we would not be shopping at Kia.
Exactly right.
We would be shopping at some dodgy second-hand,
third-hand
car.
Motorbikes.
No, we'd be I don't know. We'd have to go to Parramatta Road in Sydney.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's like carland, wasteland.
Yeah, that's right. And just see what we could pick up and hope it got home to Melbourne.
Oh, speaking of this, right? I'm going to try and sell Ben's car. So we go to
we're selling cars.
No. Wait for this, right? He drives, been in the same family, a Peugeot 308.
Okay.
Right? It's done 68,000 kilometres, not a lot of kilometres.
That's enough.
Fair to say there's a few scratches on the panels.
Yes.
But essentially, this is a good car with 4 seats, it's automatic, air conditioning.
Is he a better driver than you?
Sunroof.
Yep.
Wait for this. We go to a car dealer who says, okay, here's the price. And we said, yep, no problems. How much for the Peugeot? And he just looks at us.
Okay.
And I said again, thinking that maybe he hadn't heard, how much for the Peugeot? And he looks at me, deadpan, and says, look, I don't want to insult you. And I'm thinking to myself, a car salesperson doesn't want to insult a real estate agent. I'm thinking,
Yep.
what's he going to say? So he says, look, the car, we're going to give you $500.
No!
$500.
Wow.
Now, wait for this, right? So we all kind of hop into the car and laugh about it in the car, kind of crying laughter.
I know.
We then go to the next car dealer, right? Where it's now we've gone into a Mazda showroom, very lovely cars.
Yep.
We test drive the car. We then go through the same spiel again where we say, and how much for the Peugeot? I have to interrupt him because he's going on this long path where you know he's softening me up and he can't bear to say it, right? And he looks at me with this sheepish smile and says, $1,000.
Hey.
Now he thinks he's delivered bad news. Ben, Jacob and I are high-fiving going,
double.
That's 100% increase on the last car.
That car doubled from just there to there. He could have kept going.
If you're watching the show and you want a really good Peugeot 308, yes, it's got some scratches. Yes, it
has to be worth more than $1,000.
Come on.
That's ridiculous.
Come on.
Oh, anyway.
I mean, sell it to a Peugeot dealer for parts.
Yeah, exactly right, Phil. Anyway, that's what's going on out there. You know, real estate's an appreciating asset, and motor vehicles are deeper. Although some of them do go up, Phil.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Gary,
get on to it.
Let's talk about the auctions for this weekend.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk
weekend.
about what's happening this weekend. Let's go through them, Phil. We've got 22 auctions, no less than 22 auctions booked. Although a lot of them get sold before auction, Phil. Our pre-auction sale rate is, quite high now.
Yeah, it is.
Could be 6, 8 properties selling for auction.
Do you know what, viewers? If you're interested in a property, don't just sit around waiting for auction day. You've got to do your homework. Make sure you're prepared for the phone call that might come at you.
Yeah, so use a Dr. Hook expression, Phil. Walk right in, sit right down.
Baby, let your hair hang down.
And make a bid. Phil, 58 Rosamond Street, Balaclava. Came round quickly. I love this house. Wow. You did a terrific video.
Gary,
what a beautiful property. Come to the auction.
I reckon that's Balaclava's best house.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Come to the auction. You're free.
Shout out to the builder, Adam, who did the most incredible job as he does fabulous work. That is a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with off-street car parking at the rear. Daniel Peer and Daniel Michmacher, the two Daniels, have done a great job there.
It's one of 5 auctions, Phil, which you've got on Saturday morning. And you, as I said, you are free and available, but you might have something else booked up. But if you're not, come to 54 Belsize Avenue, Carnegie. Check out Leo Samuel's beautiful home.
What a beautiful house this is. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, off-street car parking, a lock-up garage, a swimming pool, everything that opens and shuts. That is magnificent, and Belsize is a great address. Leo and Izzy Anstey have had the pleasures.
Simon Rodolnik's looking good and fit, Phil. He's had a nice holiday.
Yep.
And he's back for the big winter-spring season, Phil. He's going to be auctioning 11496. Dandenong Road, Caulfield North for Bernie Mel.
Gary, that's a great building. Daniel Peer and Bernard Mel have had the honours there. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 basement, car space, beautiful polished boards or parquetry there. What a beautiful home that is.
One of your alias names for me, Phil, is Gerald. Not that I am a Gerald, I am a legit Gary. But we have a property in Gerald Street, Murrumbina. Phil, Graham Callan's auctioning that one.
He's meeting Alex Stupa there. That is 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. You've got a lock-up garage, another car space in front, a beautiful courtyard garden. That's a beautiful home, and we would say that price range is in the affordable category for Murrumbina.
Now, I think the name of this address is a bit risque, actually, Phil. I think if you were at a bar and you said to someone, where do you live? And they said Mona Place, you would have to ask, is that actually a street or is that just your sentiment at the moment? But we are in Mona Place, South Yarra, Phil. We're looking forward to auctioning that at 10:30.
I love
Jeremy
the way
Rosens
you
does
sped up there so that I didn't have a chance to jump
That's
in.
right.
And either
politically correct me.
Or either rescue you or
I didn't want to be rescued, Phil.
Or drown you. Morris Bison, Jeremy Rosens, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. That is a great address. You can walk to Toorak Road, have a great life. life if you live there.
Marina Road, Carnegie is Leo Samuel's second auction in Carnegie on Saturday. Tell us about that.
Meeting Rishi Thacker for this gorgeous 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-car space apartment. That's a great address and an extra large apartment.
I love the look of this property. I'm the auctioneer, Phil, 11:30 in Glen Huntly Road, Alstonwick.
Home number 6, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. You've got a double lock-up garage, Gary, not a single, front garden and back garden area. I love that address. I love that location, and goodness knows we love Alstonwick.
We sure do. That's at 555 Glen Huntly Road.
And that has been handled by Joel Sir and Reno Pabelor.
No, he didn't get it right. We did this last week.
Pabelore.
No, Pabelori it is.
No.
Pabelori. He told you it was Pabelori.
Pabelore.
Pabelori.
Pabelor.
Pabelori.
Reno, can you
save us?
Just save us.
You know what? Maybe we can record Reno saying his actual name. See if we can just get that.
Shout out to Marcus who's standing behind the camera.
Yeah.
Could you, next time you see Marcus, just film him
next
going...
Reno.
Next time you see Reno, just say, Reno, please tell us in a very clear way what is your name, and we'll put that up somewhere in this.
It's Pabelori, I think, Phil.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to find out. Anyway, let's just move on to Ormond for 4 Beatty Crescent. Ormond, Phil, you're the auctioneer meeting Nikki Janova and the lovely Jessica Filipovic.
Gary, what a great address this is, and what a beautiful facade. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking, plenty of land. That's a great address and a great home.
At your first of a number of auctions, Phil, Leslie Street, Alstonwick is where Jeremy Rosens is going to be. I love the look of this home.
Meeting Nikki Janova there. What a gorgeous property. And I love Leslie Street. I love all of those streets that come off Kooyong Road.
As do I. Yep.
They are just that's a very special hood. You've got the Halston Park there and walk to the tram and all of the cafes. This is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's freestanding, Gary. Everything that opens and shuts. What a great home. And Nikki and Jeremy will love being there.
They sure will, Phil. Your 12:30 auction is scheduled in Bentley East, if not sold prior, being handled by Vanessa McGlynn and John Sweepo in Cardiff Street, Bentley East. 4
magnificent bedrooms, 3 beautiful bathrooms, a lock-up garage, everything that opens and shuts, stone finishes, timber floors. That is a beautiful home.
We have double 12:30 Bentley East auction action, Phil. I'm going to be in Bradford Street with Leo Barr.
And Leo Yu, and the two of them are doing amazingly good things. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking, an outdoor entertaining area which is really special. That decked area is fabulous. Beautiful gardens and a car space. Love that property.
And it does get confusing, doesn't it, in Bentley, with Leo, Leor and Leon all sitting together and selling together, Phil. 1:30, we have got double auction action. Back in Carnegie, Izzy Anstey is meeting Leo Samuel to auction. Jersey Parade.
Jersey Parade. And how good was the Jersey Boys?
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Wasn't that a great piece of musical
Frankie
theatre?
Valli on the boys.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. Everything to love there, Gary. Beautiful property. Move straight in.
Russell Street, Caulfield South is the site of our 1:30 auction. Great looking home. You're auctioning this one, Phil.
Meeting the dynamic duo of Nikki Janova and Jessica Filipovic. 4 bedrooms, 2 beautiful bathrooms. This is an incredible property. You're just going to love living there.
Bringing down the curtain on Saturday at 2:30 for this fine looking home in Imperial Avenue, Caulfield South.
I'm meeting Darren Krongold and Benjamin Rothschild there. I love Imperial. I love those streets that run off Glen Huntly Road between Kooyong and Hawthorne Road. Walk to the tram in Glen Huntly Road. Walk to Aldi. Walk to Woolworths. This is 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, off-street car parking for a couple of cars. The secret sauce to that property is you can move into it straight away, but you could also do an amazing renovation there or just live in it happily ever after.
We've got an auction schedule on Sunday. We're kicking off in Linlithgow Avenue. What a great address. Simon Radolnik is the auctioneer here.
Doesn't get much better than that. Daniel Peer and Romy Skolnick have got the honours. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a lock-up garage, affordable living right in the epicentre of one of the best areas.
I'll be hopping along to Garden Street, Alstonwick, Phil, to meet Daniel Mickmucker, Jeremy Rosens, who are handling that. Jeremy's the auctioneer. And Nikki Janova, I think, has been involved as well.
3 wonderful bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 lock-up garage, Gary. A great property, a fantastic spot. I'm
looking forward to getting there, Phil. At 11:30, you have the pleasure of being in Anderson Street for this beautiful-looking property.
Gary, this has been built by Shoalhaven Developments, who do some of the best buildings around the area.
They sure do.
Run by a guy that lives and breathes what he does, and he's a terrific bloke to work with. He built these, Shoalhaven Developments. Shout out to them. Daniel Fisher, Leo Samuel have got the honours there. This This is 4 incredible bedrooms, 3 magnificent bathrooms, a double lock-up garage. This has got everything that opens and shuts, finished to the highest possible standards. You couldn't go wrong making that your home for life.
That's a big wrap, Phil, on that one. Wilgar Street, St Kilda Reese, looks like a wonderful property. Leon Guzenfitter and John Sweepo have been handling it. Jeremy Rosen's auctioneer.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, Gary, a wonderful 2-storey home. That is a great property together with a car space.
1 McGrath Street, Caulfield, Phil. Big shout out to the vendors of that home. Looking forward to being there at the auction.
Boy,
Philip, you're doing the auction.
Janover and Jessica Filipovic are going to have the busiest weekend.
They
I
sure
hope
are.
they have, some spaghetti on Friday night and some.
Why spaghetti?
Well, because it's a carbohydrate load.
Oh, can't have gnocchi or
Well, they can have
ravioli
spaghetti Friday night.
Who are you to tell them they have to have spaghetti?
Gnocchi on a Saturday night because they'll need to burn the calories and the carbs. This is a great looking home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking, beautifully renovated throughout. I love that property and I love that location.
I've got an auction at the same time, but if for some reason that auction doesn't go ahead or sells before, I'm going to be there, Phil, to join you at 1 McGrath Street because it's a lovely home and the vendors are tuned into GPTV, Phil. They like it. They're our viewer. And what a beautiful looking home this is, Philip. Number 10 Burindi Road, due to go off at 1:30. And Burindi Road
Gary,
is the best street in Caulfield South.
I love this house. This is the most incredibly well-built house, solid brick with concrete slab at first level. You can move straight into this house and love living there. All of the rooms are in the right places. But if you buy this house and you want to do something further to it, it's almost impossible to overcapitalise because if you think about it, the price range that this property is in, that's kind of not much more than land value. And you're getting a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home with plenty of off-street car parking, a swimming pool, and as you rightly said, Gary, one of the best addresses. Darren Crongold, Benjamin Rothschild have had the honours there.
And we're bringing down the curtain at 2:30 p.m. in another favourite street, Philip, Powderham Road, Caulfield North. What a great looking home.
A great looking home, Gary. 1 owner home, single level living at its best. 3 fabulous bedrooms, 2 beautiful bathrooms, a double lock-up garage. This is a low maintenance home, so perfect for either somebody scaling up from something smaller or scaling down from something larger. That is a really good home that's handled by Darren Crongold and Benjamin Rothschild.
Now, Phil, you remember when we were kids, we used to run around Westbury Street, which is kind of a bit of a rough and tumble street, and then over those last 50 years, Phil, hasn't it improved?
Gary,
what a great spot.
What an opportunity to buy 6 older style apartments. This is all on one title, right? So first of all, it sits on 606 square metres of land that's zoned GRZ1. 6 extra large 2-bed, 1-bath, separate kitchen, extra wide hallways, beautiful floor plan, some flexibility subject to council approval of doing something further to that building, but that is an incredible property.
Sure is, Phil. So is this one. Another preview home of the week. 7 Maurice Street, Caulfield North. Love Maurice Street. Love the look of this home.
Liam Elbaum and Daniel Fisher have had the honours there. Gary, what an incredible house that is. 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Sits on a very large parcel of land. You can move into that home and get on with life. 674 square metres of Caulfield North's finest.
And Phil, this may be one of our hottest listings. You would never necessarily have expected it to be so, but it's turned out that there's a lot of people interested in number 9 Rockbrook Road, St Kilda East.
The numbers there have been extraordinary.
They have.
But look, when you see that house, a period home,
Affordable.
it can be further improved. It sits on a nice little parcel of land there. So you've got 4 bedrooms and a bathroom, off-street car parking for 2 cars. Daniel Peer, Romy Skolnick have had the honours there. They've been pretty thrilled meeting all of those people, as we're always thrilled meeting you all either at the open for inspections or at our auctions. A long, lengthy edition because there was so much waffle in this show, for which Gary apologises. I'm Philip Kingston. Have a great week.
I'm Gary Peer. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.